All right, we're going to cover lesson 8.4, which is monthly payment allocation. Let's go ahead and add our new equation sheets our new equations to the equation sheet for this lesson. They are interest equals principal times rate times time. Next, we have payment to principal equals your monthly payment minus your interest. The last equation is going to be new principal, This is going to be your previous principal minus your payment to principal. There is one vocabulary word that goes along with this lesson, and that is repayment schedule. A repayment schedule shows the distribution of interest and principal over the life of a loan. Take a moment to get this copied over, and then we're going to get started on this particular lesson. All right, let's get started with example 3. Example 3, Melinda and Xavier obtained a loan for a used pickup truck. See the loan of $1,800 at 8% for 6 months in the repayment schedule in figure 8.1. Show the calculation for the first payment. What are the interest, payment to principal, and new principal after they make their first payment? So let's take a look at this. We have this repayment schedule. So basically what this is saying is every month they're going to pay $307.08. For their first month of interest, it's going to be $12. They have an amount for principal is going to be this $307.08 minus the $12 gives them this interest amount. This principal amount for principal. Then what they do to find the new balance was they took this balance of $1,800, which is what they owed, and subtracted the amount for the principal. Gave them a new balance. It asked us to find the interest. Well, I know that the interest for the first month is $12, but the question is, how did they get that interest? So let's talk about that. They would have taken the amount of the loan, our balance, $1,800. We'd have multiplied it by our 8%, so 0.08, and we'd have multiplied that by 1/12, because there are 12 months in a year. Remember, time is always a fraction of a year. So let's just double check. 1800 times 0.08 times 1 divided by 12. It did indeed give us $12. Let's talk about how they found their payment to principal. That payment to principal equation says take your monthly payment, $307.08 and subtract your interest, $12. So we're going to do 307.08 minus 12. So our payment to principal is $295.08. C says, what is the new principal after they make the first payment? Well, we owed $1,800. Our payment to principal was this $295.08. 1,800 minus 295.08 gives me 1,504.92. And basically what they did the whole way through was they repeated this process. Multiplied by the interest rate times 112. Got the 1003. Subtracted these two amounts. Then got a new balance. Notice that down here at the bottom, it says, note the last payment could be $306.83 to zero out the loan. Because what they did was they basically paid 25 cents too much. So what you would have done here is you would have taken the 304.08. You would have multiplied by the 8%. Oops, sorry, this should have been 80 cents. Okay. Times 1 over 12. That would have given us $2.03. Notice that's what they wrote here. Okay. These two amounts right here, we could have matched. These could have been equaled. Okay. Because we just have to pay the loan off. So then you would have backtracked here and you would have added these two amounts together to get this amount of the loan. So 305.05 plus 203. No, sorry. I wanted these two to equal each other. So I really should have done 304.80. So 304.80 plus 203. That is how they got we could have paid 306.83 here, because basically what they did was they paid 25 cents too much. Now, you will see one later in your worksheet for today where you won't pay enough. So you need to make sure you balance this out to zero, because you have to pay the loan off in so many months. That's how an installment loan works. So you might have to pay a little bit more than the minimum payment, the monthly payment, in order to get to that zero balance. I want you to take a moment to answer questions 3 through 5. Try on your own, and it asks you to look at this table and work through the math for the second month. It gave us the interest. I know the interest is $10.03. I know the payment principal is $297.05. I know that the new balance is $1207.87. What I want to know is, how do I get that? Show me the work. Okay? Take 5 minutes. Go ahead and pause your video now. And as you can see, I have listed the steps for 3, 4, and 5 on how those numbers were obtained. If you could, go ahead and take a moment to answer through that. Double check what you wrote compared to what I wrote. There is a debriefing on the next slide. Answer that, and then we'll move on to example 4.